20 math skills, number 6, doubling and halving. When you double something, you add it to itself. Now, it all starts from these basic facts which you have to lock into your brain. Double 1 is 2, 2 is 4, double 3 is 6, double 4 is 8, 5 is 10, double 6 is 12, double 7 is 14, double 8 is 16, double 9 is 18, double 10 is 20. I can't stress how important it is to learn those completely. Some ways of remembering them: double 6, 12 is the highest score you can get with 2 dice. 2 small 7-year-olds are probably the same as 1 big 14-year-old. 2 wedding rings, double 8, linked together, that looks like an 8. They make 16, and 16 is the youngest age you can get legally married in the UK. Double 9 is 18. Well, 1 and 8 equals 9. Now, once you've done that, you can use place value to extend this. So, for example, double 4 would be 8, but if you know that, in the tens column, double 40 equals 80, the same, but with just a 0, or double 400 equals 800, the same, but with 2 zeros. Similarly, double 7 equals 14. In the tens column, double 70 equals 140, and double 700 equals 1,400. Now, we can extend that to doubling a simple 2-digit number. So, if we're doubling 36, we're dealing with 3 tens, 10, 20, 30, and 6 units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Double 30 is 60. Double 6 is 12. And we find the answer by adding those two together, which is 72. Now, I'm actually going to spend more time on what not to do, because I see this over and over again. So we're doubling 45. It's very common for me to see double 5 is 10 and double 4 is 8, add them together, 18. Well, that's actually less than the number that you started with, and it's because you didn't pay attention to the fact that this was 4 tens, 10, 20, 30, 40, and it should be doubled to 80. Similarly, double 29. I see time and time again, double 9 is 18, double 2 is 4, add them together, 22. No, the 2 is in the tens column, 10, 20, double 20 is 40. So 40 plus 18 is 58. Now, you can also double a 3-digit number in the same way. So double 138. Now, this is 100, so it doubles to 200. This is 3 tens, 30, so it doubles to 60. And this is 8 units, which doubles to 16. Add them together, 260, 270, 276. Now, I'm going to show you again what could go wrong. If you're doubling 154, double 1 is 2, double 5 is 10, double 4 is 8, 10, 18, 20. Can't be 20 because 20 is way less than the number that you started with. So let's have a look at what went wrong. Well, it's double 100, not 1, so double 100 is 200. It's not double 5, it's double 5 tens, 50. So double 50 is 100. Now, if we add those together, 200, 300 and 8. That's the correct answer. Halving. Halving is when you take something and simply cut it into 2 equal halves. Now, finding halves of even numbers is quite straightforward. Half of 2 is 1. Half of 4 is 2. Half of 6 is 3. Half of 8 is 4. And half of 10 is 5. Those have to be learnt and remembered, but more tricky is finding halves of odd numbers. Now, obviously, if you cut 1 in half, it's going to be a half, or 0.5. If you cut 3 in half, it's going to be 1 whole 1 and a half, 1.5. If you cut 5 in half, it's going to be 2 whole 1s and a half, 2.5. If you cut 7 in half, 1, 2, 3.5. And if you cut 9 in half, 1, 2, 3, 4 whole ones and a half, 4.5. And I tell children, if you cannot remember how to do that and you want to find half of 3, get 3 fingers up, imagine them being sliced down the middle, you have 1 whole one and a half. Or if you want to find half of 5, get 5 fingers up, imagine them being sliced down the middle, 2 whole ones and then a half, 2.5. Now, these halves have to be learnt in just the same way. The odd ones, half of 1, 0.5, half of 3, 1.5, half of 5, 2.5, half of 7, 3.5, half of 9, 4.5. Half of 2, 1, half of 4, 2, half of 6, 3, half of 8, 4, and half of 10, 5. Once you've done that, you can do the same thing as with doubling with place value. So for example, half of 5 is 2.5. So half of 50 is going to be 25, a similar number without the decimal point, and half of 500 is going to be 250. Similarly, half of 6 is 3, half of 60 is 30, and half of 600 is 300. Now, once you've done that, you can go on to halving 2-digit numbers. So, if we're halving, for example, 38, half of 30 is 15, half of 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 is 4, add them together, 15 and 4 is 19. Now, again, we're going to spend more time on what could go wrong. So, for example, if you're halving 67, half of 7 is 3.5, half of 6 is 3, add them together, 6.5, that can't possibly be right, and it can only happen if you ignore the place value of each number. So for example here, it's not half of 6, it's half of 6 tens, 60, so half of it is 30, 33.5. Similarly, half of 24, I've seen so many times, half of 24 is 3. Well, it's not half of 2, it's half of 2 tens, 20, half of it is 10. If we're halving a 3-digit number, say 135, half of 100 is 50, half of 3 tens 30 is 15, and half of 5 is 2.5. 50, 60, 65, 67, 67.5. Now again, we're going to have a look at what could go wrong. If you're halving 248, you could go, half of 2 is 1, half of 4 is 2, half of 8 is 4. 6, 7, the answer is 7, way less than 248 and certainly not half. Well, what happened again was we ignored the place value. It's not half of 2, it's half of 200. Half of 200 is 100. It's not half of 4, it's half of 4 tens, 40. Half of 40 is 20. And so altogether 120, 124 is half of 248.